since the AFC Championship game, this guy, Eli Apple, has been on a lot of Chief fans' shit lists, I would say. He's talked a lot of crap about our team, the Chiefs, after the game, mainly towards Tyreek Hill, and then he's just shared a lot of stuff. But this week, he provided some more insight on how they came back in that game. He was talking about how predictable the offense was. The quote was, they got cocky. They wanted to pass. They wanted Mahomes to have the ball in his hands to get rid of us. We knew the concepts that were coming at us before the snap. We had to tell of what they were going to do, and that was about beating their guys to that spot and competing for the ball. Our D-line played really great in making sure he wasn't comfortable in the pocket when he was trying to scramble and stuff. They're one of those teams that they know what they want to do, especially when they're in drop back mode. There's only so many things they can do with those different sets, end quote. So I guess my question is, we kind of talked about last week's game and all, but what does that quote kind of say to you about our offense being predictable? And what we kind of talked about that in a way, but what did that quote say to you about what happened 2 weeks ago?
Shit, they game planned it. So, as of now, we're going to take our hats off to them because they've beaten us twice, coming back in the second half with the right adjustments to where we didn't make the adjustments to the counter. And however we want to look at it, however pissed we want to be about his comments, they came to that, it played out to what his explanation. We've said it the last couple of years since the podcast started. Our offense likes chunks. Take the top off and throw your safeties back deep, or drop your whole defense back in coverage and rush three. Teams I wouldn't say have figured us out, because we have, during the scheme of things, made adjustments during the season, especially second half. And I think that we are capable of adjusting to whatever the defense is trying to be thrown at us. For whatever reason, we didn't do it against Cincinnati. And like I said, he made a statement of what they thought, and it turns out that they won off of that. So.
Yeah, man. Eli, they were talking about how bad they torched him in both games, and he's sitting there talking all that noise. Look, he's in a position to talk that noise now, right? Like he said.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to say? He's like, all right, man, okay. Talking all he's like the dude on the basketball court who's talking all the noise. He ain't scoring not 1 point. Yeah, man, we got you. Yeah, hey, like, who are you? You ain't do nothing the whole game.
Got 3 rebounds.
Everyone needs a hype man. Everyone needs a hype man.
Need a hype man. Look, I get it, man. Look, he's going to ride this as long as he possibly can, right? Because he's in a dance, right? And rightfully so. I ain't mad at the sucker. I ain't mad at him. He's going to talk noise, so be it. Now going to the predictability of our offense, I agree with him. I do. I think we dropped the ball on both halves of the ball. We had them beat on both halves, Cincinnati. And of course, the first game, we only had 3 possessions the whole half. The second game, we just didn't even diversify with personnel or formation, putting us in an advantage with the play calling. I mean, in my head, I'm going to tell you what I do. Sometimes I get up and I draw plays up. Like formations we could have ran. Like, man, we could have easily done this. We could have easily done that. So, like last night, I got up and I started writing stuff down. I'm like, man, we could have easily got in deuce formation, ran this, run the ball, all these different things. We just didn't do it. We didn't do it. And to me, for the life of me, I don't understand why. There was open guys. Patrick didn't hit him. For whatever reason, he didn't throw the football, right? So he could say, yeah, it's predictable. Man, there was guys that was open. And Pat, he didn't make the play. He didn't. I think it was a bad call, and as far as like the one where he threw the pick for the screen or the RPO, that's a bad play, bad call, period. So he can say, yeah, they can be predictable. Yeah, you know what? You know what, buddy? You won. You won. Basket it while you can. Go on, basket it. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily everything that y'all did. Some things that we just didn't do, period. I'm just going to say that. So Eli Apple, okay, we'll see what we're going to do a Super Bowl. You're going to have some jokers, running around. Cup is a monster. OBJ, monsters. So we see how you talking in. Who's going to get a bite at the apple then, buddy?
I like that. I guess the one question that comes from this whole predictability aspect, and this is something we talked about last year after we got our butts handed to us in the Super Bowl, is that it's two games, two of our biggest games we've had in the last 2 years. One's in the Super Bowl and then one in the AFC Championship game, where we didn't really make any adjustments. And that was kind of something we talked about last year after that Super Bowl. The halftime, it came out and really nothing changed. We didn't really make any adjustments. What does that say to you as far as the game planning aspect? I mean, what are we not doing? I mean, obviously we're not doing adjustments, but what is it? Is it a confidence thing?
Of course. I mean, look, we feel like we're going to be able to do what we want to do. And to be honest with you, they didn't show us anything that we haven't seen, we hadn't adjusted to before. We've seen this early on in the season. And it took them that time to adjust, right? So it really didn't give me any excuse not to make the adjustment this half. They had like all the play calling and stuff, what they could have done, against this team in the second half. They just didn't do it. And so I don't know who was scrambling around looking at papers or who didn't. It just, to me, it was sad. It was that debacle in the second half, man. We seen the adjustments for the half. We got ready for that. So it wasn't like no two high safeties dropping 7 or 8. We knew that. So, well.
Do you chalk that up to confidence?
It's confidence, man. It's confidence. And you should look, when you got guys on offense that have that swag, can make plays, you're going to stay confident on that. I don't disagree on that, right? I mean, look, you torched him for 21 points in the first half. Could have ended up getting another touchdown going up to 28, but you didn't. And so when the first half, when it looked so good, you think, man, this team ain't stopping it, right? It is confidence. So that's it.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on what it is, man. It's just, as a fan and a former player, it's disappointing. That's what I'm going to say.
100%.